Good morning. We are very glad that you have been writing to us with propositions that you would like to see here in our channel. Responding to your needs, we are going to discuss today one of your propositions. So today's subject is warm up for Polish folk groups. We suggest the adaptation of classical ballet technique in the need of folk dance. Of course, not all the classical ballet steps are needed to us folk dancers, but some of them are very useful and even crucial. They help to build and fix our perception of aesthetics and help the group to dance synchronized and in an equal style. Of course, in the need of stage performances. During today's class, we are going to talk about body posture and how to work properly with our arms. In the following videos, we also are going to talk about other exercises and subjects related to warming up. We are going to talk now about the basics of dance. So starting with the positions of the feet. Let's begin choosing a feet position, for example, the natural position or the sixth position. Now let's pay attention to our upper body. Note if you have a lowered posture or a fully stretched one. Here we use the rule of opposition and we think about vectors. If you don't know what a vector is, try to imagine an arrow that directs your energy to some direction. Here in that case, we will imagine two arrows. One arrow from our navel directs our energy down. The another arrow goes to the opposite direction. So from our navel the arrow directs our energy up. So engaging the energy that we push down, we grow our upper body up. This rule of opposition using vectors is very important to keep our upper body fully stretched and our center of gravity lowered. For example, if I try to push Marisha and she have her center of gravity lowered, she will not move from her spot. Also, it's very important that our body is not contracted to our center. We keep it strong but elongated and extended. Let's talk now about the arms. But if you are going to talk about the arms, why is she standing backwards to the camera? That's because the work of our arms starts from our back. We should keep it in mind that our back and all our upper body are engaged and our arms are the extension of our back. Let's turn back facing to the camera. Now try to imagine that our shoulders work like hinges, the same ones that we have on doors, for example. Note that the hinges don't move from the place when you move the door, just the door moves in the space. Our arms work in the same way. When moving our arms, our shoulders should not move to any direction. These positions were the classical ballet positions of the arms. Note that even in the preparatory position, our arms don't touch our upper body. Let's talk about the arms positions of the classical ballet. These positions are very important to us folk dancers because to get to the arms positions that you use in folk dance, we do it through the positions of classical ballet. So let's stay sideways in the preparatory position. Remember that our arms don't touch our upper body. Now engaging our back, let's move our arms to the first position. It's very important here to keep your elbows up. Now second position, just elongating your arms, keeping your elbows up. Now moving to the third position. Be careful to have your arms always a little bit more forward than backward. And finally, let's go back to the preparatory position. These were the classical ballet positions of the arms. We already know the basics of body posture and arms positions of the classical ballet, so now we are going to show you some arms positions of the Polish folk national dances. Let's begin with the most characteristic one, that is the hands on your waist or hips. From the preparatory position, close your fingers, making a fist. Next, turn it towards you and put your hands between your hips and waist. All the front part of your fist should touch your body. The elbows should be pushed a little bit forward and the shoulders to the back. We are going to show you now some other characteristic and common positions of the arms in the character and folk dance. First position, second position, third position. And now we are going to show you how to open your arms through the classical ballet positions to the character dance positions that we use in the folk dance. Doing that, we can get a very aesthetic fluid movement. So first, from the hip, through the first classical position to the first character position. And the same way the arms come back to the hip. From the hip, through the second classical position to the second character position. And the same way back. And finally, through the third classical position to the third character position. And back. Now you already know the basics of the body posture, the arms positions of classical ballet, character dance and folk dance. So now we are going to show you the characteristic way to work with our upper body that give more character and style to our poses. Note that we do an inclination of the upper body a little bit out of our vertical axis. First, the inclination of the upper body to the front and coming back to the vertical axis. Second, the inclination of the upper body to the side, turning your head. The same to the other side and back. And finally, the inclination to the back, just a little bit, and back to the neutral position. We can do the same using the arms positions that we learned. So the first one, the inclination of the upper body to the front with the first position of the arm. The inclination of the upper body to the side, using the arm to the second position and back. The same to the other side. Note that the head turns to the same direction that we open our arm, next to the side again, but using our arm through the third position and turning our head to the opposite side of the arm. And the last one, we are going to show you the inclination of the upper body to the back, using both arms through the third position and back. So making a conclusion, all the elements and exercises that we discussed one by one can of course be connected all together, so then we can give more character and style to our dance. Stage performance form requires adequate aesthetics, and we as teachers very often demand from our dancers and groups to dance in perfect synchrony, and that kind of clarification and definition of the positions of the arms, placement of the body, and all the subjects that we have discussed about today makes that much easier to us and to the dancers. Having a routine and repeating that kind of exercises can seem boring and meaningless, but they are very important so the dancers can get correct movement habits and muscle memory. We are going to show you now how you can make these exercises more danceable in 3 different Polish rhythms: Kujawiak, Oberek and Krakowiak. So that was all for today. In the next video, we are going to show you other elements and subjects still in the need for warming up. We will talk about the demi-plié and how it can be useful in folk groups. See you in the next video!